I never thought one phone call could change my whole life. I was in my office on the 20th floor, going through the usual reports on a normal Thursday morning. Suddenly, my phone lit up. It was my mom calling. I almost dropped my coffee mug. She hadn't called me in years. "Kelly, is that you?" Her voice sounded different, tired and shaky. "Yes, Mom. What's wrong?" I tried to keep my voice calm and serious. I was at work, and being a department head at just 30 meant I had to stay professional, no matter what. "Your father, he passed away yesterday. The funeral is in 4 days." Her words felt like a punch to the stomach. Dad was gone? And they were just telling me now? I held onto the edge of my desk. I was thankful I had chosen to rent this nice apartment with a private office space. "What happened?" I asked, forcing the words out. "Heart attack. He was at work, of course." Her voice faded, and I could hear my sister Lauren crying in the background. Of course, he was at work. He was always working, trying to take care of both of them, my mom, who didn't have a job, and Lauren, my 24-year-old sister, who never worked a day in her life. I felt anger building up inside me, but I held it in. "Why didn't you tell me when it happened?" "We were in shock, Kelly. Everything happened so fast." She paused. "The funeral, it's on Sunday, at 3 p.m. Will you come?" Would I come? Of course. He was my dad, the only one who stood by me when I moved out on my own. The only one who cheered me on when I finished college, while Mom and Lauren were too busy shopping for Lauren's prom dress. He was the only one who made time to call me, even if it meant hiding away during his lunch break. "Of course I'll be there," I said firmly. Then I ended the call. I sat quietly, looking out the window at the city skyline. So many memories came rushing back. Memories of how Mom always chose Lauren over me. Like the time I made the debate team in high school, but Mom didn't come to my first competition because she took Lauren to her dance recital instead. Or when I got my first job at 17, and instead of being happy for me, Mom complained that I wouldn't be around to help Lauren with her homework anymore. That's why I left as soon as I could. I got through college using scholarships and working part-time jobs. I found a small apartment in the city and worked hard to move up in my company. Dad understood me. He visited whenever he could, always bringing a little gift and a proud smile. And now he was gone. The funeral home was filled with people I didn't know, distant family, Dad's coworkers, and old friends, all there to say goodbye to the man who worked himself to death at only 55. I stood near the back, watching quietly as everyone went to Mom and Lauren. They were up front, wiping their tears and accepting hugs and kind words. "Oh, Joyce," Aunt Hannah said, holding Mom's hand tightly. "If you need anything, just say the word." Mom dabbed her eyes with a tissue. "It's going to be so hard without Austin. He was the only one earning money. I don't know how we'll manage now." I clenched my jaw. Lauren started crying again, loudly, and 4 more people rushed over to comfort her. I couldn't help but notice how perfect her hair looked and how her nails were freshly done. I guess not having a job gave her plenty of free time. "He worked so hard for us," Mom continued loudly. "Now it's just me and Lauren with no income." I had to step outside. The cool air helped calm me down. I remembered Dad calling me just 3 weeks ago. He had sounded extra tired. "Just finished my second shift," he said. "Gotta keep the girls comfortable, you know." I should have told him to slow down. I should have said something. When I went back inside, I had to sit through another 3 hours of Mom's dramatic stories about money problems. Lauren acted perfectly, looking lost and heartbroken. Not once did either of them mention how they had years to find jobs, but never even tried. Finally, people started leaving. I was about to grab my coat when Mom called out, "Kelly, wait. We need to talk." I followed her and Lauren into the kitchen. Suddenly, Mom turned to me with tears in her eyes. "Kelly, I know things haven't been right between us," she said. "I know I ignored you. I know I always gave more attention to Lauren." Behind her, Lauren rolled her eyes and made a face. "But your father's death made me realize how short life is," Mom continued. "We need to let go of the past and be a family again." I wanted to yell at her. I wanted to say that maybe Dad would still be alive if he hadn't worked so hard, doing double shifts just to support their lazy lifestyle. While I was working hard to build a career, they were living off his hard work and sacrifice. The words were stuck in my throat, burning, but I didn't say them. This wasn't the right time or place. Instead, I asked directly, "Why now, Mom? Is this about money?" Her face changed quickly, like I had hurt her feelings. "How can you say that? Your father left us the house and some savings. We'll be okay for now. I just want my daughter back." "I'm not saying no to fixing things," I said slowly, "but maybe we should take it slow. We need to build trust again." "Of course, dear," Mom said. "Whatever you think is best." The drive back to my apartment passed in a blur. Later, as I sat in my living room staring at the city lights, I started to wonder. Maybe Mom was right. Maybe Dad's death really was a wake-up call. Maybe we could fix our relationship. After all, she did admit she had made mistakes, right? A week after the funeral, Mom called and invited me to dinner. "I'm making your favorite lasagna," she said, her voice sounding cheerful, but I could tell it was forced. I almost laughed. In the past, she only made lasagna when Lauren asked for it. Still, I agreed to go, reminding myself that I had promised to give them a chance. The house looked the same as it did during the funeral, except now Dad's shoes were missing from their spot by the door. Lauren was lying on the couch, scrolling through her phone. She barely looked up when I walked in. "Everything is so expensive these days," Mom sighed as she pulled the lasagna out of the oven. I nearly fainted when I saw the grocery bill. And don't even get me started on the utility bills. The electric company must think we're rich. I noticed she was serving dinner on brand new plates. "Have you started looking for a job yet?" I asked, trying to keep my tone calm. "Oh, sweetie," she said, not looking at me. "The job market is awful right now. Did you know cheese prices went up 40%? And the internet bill, it's like daylight robbery." At the dinner table, Lauren finally put down her phone long enough to join in. "My friends say everything costs twice as much now," she said. "How is anyone supposed to live?" I took a sip of water and chose my words carefully. You know, when you have a job and a regular paycheck, those price increases don't feel so bad. The meaning of my words hung in the air like smoke, but Mom and Lauren acted like they didn't hear me. "We'll find something eventually," Mom said, pouring herself another glass of wine. "But for now, we just have to tighten our belts a little." "That sounds like a great idea," I replied. I spoke, unable to hide the sharp tone in my voice. "Tightening your belt really builds character." The mood in the room changed instantly. It felt like the temperature dropped. Lauren's face turned into a scowl, and Mom's smile looked fake and stiff. For the rest of the evening, they hardly talked. When I tried to start a conversation, they answered with short, cold replies. This became the new normal over the next few weeks. I would come over for dinner, Mom would complain about how everything costs too much, and I would make small comments about them finding jobs. They acted like they didn't understand what I meant. It felt like we were all following the same weird routine, but no one wanted to admit what was really going on. Then one Friday, everything changed. I had just finished helping Mom clean up after dinner when she cleared her throat and looked nervous. "Kelly, honey, we need to talk about something," she said. "The washing machine broke yesterday. Water went everywhere. And you know how expensive repairs are these days." "Here it comes," I thought. "We really need a new one," she added. Lauren, sitting next to her, nodded quickly. "I was wondering, could you maybe help us pay for it?" I looked at both of them, Mom with her begging eyes, and Lauren with that hopeful look on her face. Part of me felt bad. This house was full of memories of Dad, and now they were trying to get by without him. But another part of me remembered how often they had taken advantage of him. I had to be careful. "I'm not giving you money," I said firmly. I watched their faces fall. "But I will buy the washing machine myself." Mom's mouth tightened. She clearly wasn't happy. "Fine," she said, her voice full of disappointment. "If that's how you want to do it." I knew this wasn't the answer they were hoping for. But I wasn't going to hand over money that might never be used for what they said it was for. I picked out a good Whirlpool washing machine. It wasn't fancy, but it worked well and saved energy. I arranged for it to be delivered and installed on a Thursday morning, even taking a half day off work to be there. When it was all set up, Mom walked around the machine like a real estate agent checking out a house she didn't like. "It's nice," she said, but her tone made it sound like she didn't think so at all. "I did see this gorgeous Samsung one at the appliance store. It had all these cool features." I picked up my purse and replied, "Well, when you're ready to buy your own washing machine, you can get the fanciest one they make." Mom suddenly laughed. "Oh, I'm just teasing, honey. This one's perfect, really." I nodded, but I didn't believe her for a second. Over the next few months, it felt like everything in the house started falling apart. First, the refrigerator broke. The repairman came, took one look at it, and said it couldn't be fixed. I spent a Sunday afternoon shopping for appliances with Mom. Surprisingly, she didn't complain about the prices this time. Then, the dishwasher broke and flooded the kitchen floor. Lauren called me, sounding panicked, like she had no idea people could wash dishes by hand. "We can't live like this," she cried on the phone. So, I added a dishwasher to the growing list of things I had already bought for them. Next, the coffee maker stopped working. "Your father always said every home needs good coffee," Mom said, her voice a little shaky. I couldn't argue with that, so I bought them a nice, reliable coffee maker. Each time something broke, I paid for it directly or handled the purchase myself. Mom kept hinting that it would be easier if I just gave her the money instead, but I stood my ground. I remembered too well how Dad's repair money had often ended up paying for Lauren's shopping in the past. The most expensive item was the living room furniture. One evening, Mom mentioned how the old sofa reminded her too much of Dad, how he would fall asleep on it after working long hours. She said the cabinets were also hard to look at because they still held his magazines and books. So, I replaced everything. A new sofa, new cabinets, new memories. My credit card took a big hit, but at least I knew where every dollar was going. With each thing I bought, I told myself I was helping them adjust a life without Dad. I thought I was making the house feel more comfortable. But some nights, I wondered if I was just helping them stay dependent, just like Dad had done for years. Then, during dinner one evening, Lauren said something surprising. "I got an interview," she said, almost bouncing in her chair. "It's for an admin job at Raymond and Brandon." I nearly choked on my meatloaf. After months of her saying she was trying to find work, this was the first real news. Mom smiled proudly, like Lauren had already been made the boss. "That's great," I said, trying to stay calm. "When is it?" "Next week," Lauren answered, pushing peas around her plate. "But there's kind of a problem." Here it comes, I thought. I need something nice to wear. First impressions matter, you know? HR people totally judge you for what you wear. "We could go shopping together," I offered. "I know some good places for office clothes." Lauren made a face like I'd asked her to wear something from the trash. "Kelly, I'm 24. I think I can shop for myself. I already found the perfect suit. I just need the money to buy it. Around $1,000 should do it." For the next hour, they worked on me as a team. Lauren went on about how this job could change her life. Mom reminded me how she once helped me buy my first outfit for an interview, though I barely remembered that happening. Eventually, I gave in. I was tired, and I wanted to support Lauren's effort, if it was real. "Fine," I said, breaking my own rule. I pulled out my phone and said, "I'm sending you the $1,000, but I want to see the suit once you buy it." Lauren hugged me, smiling wide. "You're the best big sister ever." A week later, I was scrolling through Instagram when I saw it. Lauren, definitely not in a business suit, was posing at what looked like a club. She was wearing a shiny red dress that looked like it cost exactly $1,000. I felt my anger rising. I clicked through more photos. Lauren dancing, Lauren taking shots, Lauren partying in what was supposed to be her interview outfit. The next morning, I drove straight to Mom's house. Lauren was still in her pajamas at noon, clearly dealing with a hangover. "So, how did the interview go?" I asked sweetly. "Oh, good," she mumbled, not looking at me. "Really good." "That's great," I said. "Can I see the suit you wore? The one you bought with my money?" Lauren's face went pale. "It's, at the dry cleaners." "That's strange," I said, pulling out my phone. "Because according to your Instagram, My $1,000 bought you a very different outfit. Lauren's eyes filled with tears. You were spying on me. It's not spying when you post it for everyone to see, I replied. You lied to me, Lauren. There was no interview, was there? You're so mean, she cried. I needed that dress. All my friends are going to that party. I gave you that money for a job interview, I said, my voice sharp. Then Mom jumped in. Kelly, don't be so hard on her. She's young. She needs to have fun too. That was it, the final straw. I'm done, I said, my voice shaking. I'm done buying your appliances, fixing your house, and giving money for fake job interviews. You're both on your own now. I walked out, slamming the door while they shouted behind me. As I drove away, all the anger I had held in for years started bubbling up. They were never going to change. They would always look for someone to take care of things for them. Always another excuse, another lie. For 4 weeks, I ignored every call, text, and voicemail from Mom and Lauren. Every time their names showed up on my phone, I felt a mix of emotions, anger because of what they did, but also relief that I didn't have to deal with their problems anymore. Then February came, bringing the first snowfall and memories of family Christmases from years ago. I was in my apartment, going through end-of-year reports, when the doorbell rang. I opened the door and saw Mom standing there, wrapped in Dad's old winter coat. Kelly, she said softly, can we talk? I paused. Seeing that coat made my throat feel tight. Dad had worn it to every school event I ever had. Every parent-teacher meeting, he was there alone because Mom was always too busy with Lauren. Christmas is coming, Mom said, her breath forming clouds in the cold hallway. Your father always said holidays are for family. She was right about one thing. That was one of Dad's favorite sayings. Lauren peeked out from behind Mom, looking quieter than usual. Please, Mom said, her voice shaking. Just 10 minutes. I stepped aside to let them in, already wondering if I was making a mistake. They sat on the couch while I went to make some tea, Dad's way of fixing everything. The simple act of boiling water and pouring tea helped me feel a little calmer. We miss you, Mom said as I handed her a cup. The house feels so empty without you visiting. Lauren nodded, holding her cup tightly. I'm sorry about the dress thing, she mumbled. I shouldn't have lied. I sat down, watching the steam rise from my tea. The anger I had carried for weeks now felt far away. All I felt was tired and sad. Maybe Dad would have wanted us to give it another try. Maybe the holidays were the right time for second chances. I just want us to be a real family again, Mom said, reaching for my hand. Your father would have hated seeing us like this. We spent the next hour talking, really talking, for the first time in years. Mom shared stories about Dad that I had never heard before. Lauren showed me pictures from her supposed job search. It actually felt nice. Normal. Like maybe, just maybe, we could rebuild our broken relationship. But the next day, while I was at work, my phone buzzed with a message from my bank. There was a $600 charge at Nordstrom. Before I could even react, another message popped up, $900 at Saks. My hands started shaking. I opened my banking app. Charge after charge showed up, all from expensive clothing stores, all in the last hour. I called the bank right away. I need to report some charges I didn't make, I said firmly. Please block my card now. After confirming the card was blocked, I kept looking at the charges, trying to understand what had happened. Then I remembered, Lauren had asked to use my bathroom before they left yesterday. She must have gone through my purse and taken my credit card. I checked the time. It was 2:30 p.m. The workday still had 3 hours left, but this couldn't wait. I grabbed my things, told my assistant I had a family emergency, and rushed to my car. I walked into Mom's house without knocking, my hands shaking with rage. Lauren was lying on the new sofa I had bought, surrounded by shopping bags from expensive stores. She barely looked up from her phone. Give me back my credit card, I said, my voice shaking. Mom came rushing in from the kitchen, drying her hands on a dish towel. Kelly, honey, why are you making such a scene? She stole from me, Mom. She went through my purse yesterday and took my card. Lauren rolled her eyes and reached into her fancy handbag, probably bought with my stolen money. She pulled out my credit card. Fine, she said. Here's your precious card back. I just needed some stuff for the Christmas party, Lauren said. And you've been so stingy lately. I yanked the card out of her hand. Stingy? I bought you a house full of appliances and furniture, and this is how you thank me? By stealing from me. Don't call your sister a thief, Mom said, stepping between us. Her face was red with anger. She just needed something nice to wear for the holidays. If you weren't so selfish with your money, she wouldn't have had to do it herself. I looked at them, really looked. My mom, standing there acting like what Lauren did, was completely normal. Lauren, sitting there surrounded by shopping bags, acting like the victim, as always. They were sitting on the sofa I had paid for, watching a TV I had bought, probably planning to make coffee, later using the machine I had purchased. And suddenly, something clicked in my head. A plan started forming. I took a deep breath and forced a smile. You know what, Mom? Maybe you're right. Maybe I've been a little too strict with money. It is Christmas, after all. Her face lit up. Oh, honey, that would be wonderful. In fact, I continued, why don't we have Christmas here this year? With all the relatives. Yes, Mom said happily. We can do it on Christmas Eve just like when you were little. I'll call everyone. Over the next few days, I played my role perfectly. Every time Mom called to plan, I happily agreed to everything. I even showed up early on Christmas Eve, dressed in my nicest holiday outfit. We need to pick up a few last-minute things for the party, Mom said. Would you mind? Of course not, I said, pulling out my wallet and handing them a few $100s. Get whatever you need. They almost ran out the door, probably afraid I'd change my mind. As soon as their car turned the corner, I pulled out my phone. Yes, this is Kelly Wilson, I said. The movers can come now. I had arranged everything ahead of time. Movers willing to work on Christmas Eve for extra pay, a rented storage unit across town, even a small moving truck. They arrived within minutes, eager to earn their holiday bonus. One by one, everything I had bought over the past few months was carried out of the house. The washing machine, the fridge, the dishwasher, the coffee maker, the sofa Lauren had lounged on with her stolen shopping bags, even the cabinets. Everything. When it was all gone, I placed a small, neatly wrapped gift under their Christmas tree. I took one last look around the nearly empty house, remembering the quiet talks Dad and I used to have in that very room, while Mom and Lauren were off shopping. Around 3 p.m., my phone started to ring. I was sitting in my apartment, sipping a glass of wine and watching the snow fall outside my window when my phone rang. Mom's voice burst through the speaker, loud and panicked. We've been robbed. Someone broke in and took everything. The washing machine, the fridge, all the furniture. It's all gone. If you hadn't left. I took another sip of wine and calmly said, No one robbed you, Mom. I took it all. Everything I bought these past few months. It's in storage now. You can't do this, she screamed. I'm calling the police. I actually laughed. Go ahead. Oh, and by the way, there's a little something under the tree for you. You should open it. I could hear her stomping across the room, then the sound of tearing wrapping paper. It's just a bunch of receipts. What kind of stupid gift is this? Those aren't just any receipts, I said. They're proof that I bought everything I took today. Every appliance, every piece of furniture, paid for by me. I'm sure the police will find them very helpful. And while you're at it, you might want to explain how Lauren went on a shopping spree with my stolen credit card. You spiteful little. Mom's voice cracked with anger. How could you do this to us on Christmas Eve? What are we supposed to tell everyone? I don't know, I replied. Maybe the truth. That you and Lauren have been living off Dad's money and my help while refusing to get jobs. That Lauren stole from me. And that you defended her. Then I hung up and blocked her number. The next morning, Christmas Day, my phone rang again. This time it was my cousin Madison. She was laughing so hard, she could barely talk. Oh my God, Kelly, you won't believe what happened last night. Tell me everything, I said. So, Madison began, Aunt Joyce started telling everyone this dramatic story about how ungrateful you were and how you stole all their furniture on Christmas Eve. But then Uncle Walter asked why they didn't just buy their own furniture, since they hadn't worked in years. And Aunt Hannah said your dad once told her he was working double shifts just to support them. I could imagine the whole scene in my head, and it made me smile. Over the next few weeks, the messages kept coming. At first, they were angry. Then they turned into apologies. Then they got desperate. Mom said they couldn't afford groceries. Lauren said she had learned her lesson. They begged to talk. Said they missed me. Said they loved me. That they had changed. I blocked every new number they tried to use. I changed my email. I removed them from all my social media. Sometimes I wonder how they're doing. If they ever got jobs. If they sold the house. If they learned anything from what happened. But those thoughts don't keep me up at night anymore.